It's finally happening. What's up, guys? This is Brad. So listen, I know that I'm a little bit late on this. All right. This announcement came out almost 2 weeks ago now, but I haven't had time to hop on here. And this is such big news that I felt like I still needed to put something out here on my channel just to address it and talk about it. I could not be more stoked about the recent announcement from CGC regarding autograph authentication and their acquisition of JSA. If you have not yet heard, which, maybe you're sleeping under a rock, or maybe you only, halfway pay attention to what's going on in the hobby. CGC is finally going to be offering a better alternative, a better option for those of us who have collected autographed sports magazines. They've long done this with. Let me correct myself. They have long catered to comics. They have long offered all kinds of guest signings at lots of different comic events and private signings with, different comic artists and that type of thing. But, as far as Sports Illustrated and sports autographs, they're just, you were pretty much out of luck because CGC would only authenticate signatures if they witnessed it happening at one of their events, basically. And there just weren't very many opportunities for that whatsoever with athletes. In fact, there had been less than 100 CGC signature series slabs ever done because it just never happened. And so, the alternative for that was they would grade your magazine if it had been autographed, but they would often deduct you points and mark it as a green qualified label, which, just really sucked because to me and to most collectors, an autograph on a magazine makes it even cooler, whereas the green label and lower score, definitely did the opposite of that. So, I've been clamoring now for 2 years for a better option from CGC as far as grading sports magazines that have been autographed, and this just is an absolute game changer. They absolutely nailed it with this one. I've kind of speculated before on, how they could offer a better option, and honestly, what they are doing, I think, is the total best case scenario. So what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to share my screen here. We're going to look at this announcement. We're going to read through it a little bit, and then I'm going to talk some more on some of my thoughts and what I think the implications are of this news. So yeah, this came out on March 20th. I'm recording this video on April 2nd. So once again, I apologize for being late. I knew about it the day it came out. People were messaging me, and I was super pumped about it then, but I haven't had time to hop on here and record something. So CGC to require James Spence authentication. In case you didn't know, in case you're not familiar, JSA, which is James Spence Authentication, is a highly reputable, if not the most reputable, autograph authentication service in the sports industry. I mean, when I'm looking for autographs, I'm pretty much either looking for JSA, PSA, Beckett, and then there may be a couple others thrown in there that have some legitimacy as well. But JSA is, the cream of the crop, and this is massive that CGC is partnering with JSA. So it says CCG, which is, the parent company of CGC, and JSA will provide a seamless solution for autograph collectors to have their items authenticated, graded, and encapsulated by the world's top experts. CGC, the leader in authenticating, grading collectibles, excited to announce it's entered into a definitive agreement to acquire James Spence Authentication. So they're actually acquiring JSA. That's a pretty huge move, bold move by them. And in my opinion, it is a genius move because this was the last missing piece for CGC as far as I'm concerned. So we know about CGC, but JSA was founded in 2005 by James Spence Jr., a giant in the world of autograph and memorabilia collecting. In the last 2 decades, JSA has certified millions of autographs and in the process has built the world's largest autograph database of nearly 1 million images encompassing virtually every known person from Thomas Jefferson to Taylor Swift, Lou Gehrig to Little League stars. JSA uses this extraordinary database alongside deep expertise and state-of-the-art equipment to maintain unparalleled accuracy in autograph authentication. In addition, JSA's experts frequent shows and interact closely with collectors, dealers, and auction houses, further defining the JSA name as being synonymous with trust and accessibility. And honestly, I would agree with most of that, just based off of being around the hobby of sports cards and other collectibles. Let's see here. It says James Spence Jr. and James Spence III will remain at JSA's helm after this transaction closes, and also Mark Pepitone, a JSA co-owner and industry expert in his own right, will serve as senior advisor to the company. The Spences, the JSA brand, and their expert team will continue to provide the same world-class authentication services for autographs, with CCG enabling JSA to offer expanded services to collectors and dealers, such as grading and encapsulation, and to better serve collectors worldwide. Says CCG and JSA are the perfect match, says the CEO of the Certified Collectibles Group. Let's see here. The acquisition of JSA is CCG's answer to the countless collectors, me, and dealers who have asked to have their autographed collectibles authenticated and then graded and encapsulated. Although CCG pioneered witnessed authentication of autographs through its popular Signature Series service, it has never offered full authentication and grading services for collectibles with unwitnessed autographs. All right, let's see here. In April, collectors of autographed comic books, magazines, sports cards, trading card games, and non-sports cards will benefit from a seamless submission experience where they can use a single online form to submit their collectibles for JSA autograph authentication and CGC grading and encapsulation. More services and enhancements will be announced in the months ahead. So based on that paragraph, this month, like I said, I'm recording this on May 2nd. So this month, this service is expected to roll out. I can't wait. Should be any day. And it also says that this is going to be for any of these comic books, magazines, sports cards, trading card games, any of these items that have autographs that were not witnessed. You should just be able to go straight into CGC's submission website, the normal place where you would go to submit for grading. And there's probably now going to be an option to include the JSA autograph authentication. And that's supposedly going to be getting launched very, very soon, this very month. Okay, some FAQs. There was some good information in some of these FAQs. So let's look at this. When can I submit my comics and magazines with autographs for JSA authentication? Once again, they're expecting that to start sometime in April, and an announcement will be made when these services are available. When can you submit cards? Same thing. They're looking to do that in April. What's the difference between JSA autograph authentication and CGC Signature Series? I think I've already talked about that. Signature Series is where someone from CGC had to actually witness the signature happen, and that's where you'll get a gold label. The JSA autograph authentication, that doesn't have to be witnessed. That's basically where you're going to turn in a magazine that's already been signed, and some of their experts are going to observe and study the autograph based on previous autographs within their database. I think based on the flow and the ink and whatever. I don't know all the factors they look at, but they're gonna basically give their best expert opinion on whether or not it's authentic. It's not like they guarantee that an autograph is authentic, but based on their expert opinion, they will make a judgment on whether or not they think it is authentic or think it is not authentic. What do I do with comics? And so also backing up on that, like I said, the Signature Series receives the gold label. They haven't totally come out and said what's going to happen for the JSA authenticated autographs as far as like the slab and the label. I'm guessing it's going to be a different color. I don't think it's going to be the same gold Signature Series. But we don't know for sure. So we'll see what they announce with that as that comes up. So it says, what do you do with magazines that have already been encapsulated with a CGC qualified green label? Because like I said, that's what they were doing before. So if you have one that's already been graded by CGC and they gave you the green label, it says they're going to offer a service where you can send that in and it will be recertified by JSA and CGC. What do I do with magazines that have a JSA letter of authenticity? So this one's probably even more common. Let's say that you have a magazine that's been autographed. It's already been authenticated by JSA, so it's got the sticker on there, or maybe you've got the little JSA authentication card. You never sent it in to CGC or anyone to be slabbed, but since it's already been authenticated by JSA, it's saying that you can go ahead and just submit that straight in, and it looks like they'll then grade it and slab it. It's not going to have to be, it's not going to have to be re-authenticated basically because JSA already did it. They're going to announce pricing in April, so that's not out yet. The same discounts will apply based on your membership tier. They do mention that other autograph collectibles, such as video games, home video, baseball toys, they will get there eventually. But right now, they're just going to be starting with comics, magazines, and cards. So you'll have to hold on to those other collectibles for now. But that will be coming down the road. And yeah, there you go. That's pretty much it. That's pretty much the gist of the announcement. So like I said, I'm absolutely stoked about this. So a couple thoughts. Number one, I put a video out probably not even 2 months ago about how CBCS had started authenticating sports magazines. So CBCS is basically the competitor CGC as far as grading comics. Not nearly as popular, but still somewhat reputable. And they they have a partnership with Beckett. So CBCS already had an autograph authentication service where you could send in a magazine that had been signed, and CBCS would authenticate it without witnessing it. They would use Beckett's authentication services, which are also legit. Now, for a long time, CBCS wasn't grading any Sports Illustrated magazines until recently, a couple months ago, all of a sudden they said that they will. And you can even look, and there's one or two examples in the census. I actually, since then, have sent one Sports Illustrated magazine into CBCS that has been autographed. I wanted to kind of use it as a test. I have received confirmation that they received it, but it's still processing. It's been what, a month and a half, and I still haven't gotten it yet. So it'll be interesting to see what that comes back and looks like. But I have to say that with CGC's newest announcement on this JSA thing, man, that's got to be a gut punch for CBCS. That was really the one thing that they had over CGC. And this is going to be tough for them to come out of. I was kind of excited that CBCS was going to be a new option, and I was going to test it out and probably send in some more autographed issues, but I have a feeling that the one that I sent in as a test is now probably going to be the only one, and I'll be going through CGC to use that JSA authentication for all the others. Um, Another point that I want to make is I've talked a lot over the past couple of years about how pop counts are really, really low on a lot of the newsstands for key Sports Illustrated covers. I think that with this new service rolling out, we're going to start to see some high grades hit the census on some really key issues. And here's the reason I think that. There are a lot of instances of newsstand magazines being purchased specifically for the purpose of having them signed. The hobby of getting like Sports Illustrated magazines signed and autographed, that predates the grading hobby significantly. There has long been a group of collectors who go out autograph hunting and trying to get these Sports Illustrated covers signed. Once again, that goes way back before the grading hobby ever became a thing. And so I think that there is a decent number of pretty high grade because, once again, these are the type of people who are going to intentionally keep their magazines in good condition. They were purchasing these newsstands straight from the store, getting them autographed in person, and then, bagging and boarding them and intentionally storing them well. So I think there's going to be some really big covers with autographs that are in nice condition that are going to pop some high grades. I think that could have a little bit of an impact on the census, and I think that will be interesting to see. And then the last point that I want to make is I think this is huge for value. And I'm going to be honest, I have quietly and slowly been adding more and more autographed newsstand magazines to my collection over the past year and a half. Because what I had been noticing, especially when I put together all these videos I do with all the top sales, I'd been noticing that the autographed copies seem to add like an exponential amount of value, like a disproportional amount of value. And it was kind of crazy to me. But then the more I thought about it, the more it made sense. Because if you think about how rare it is to find a newsstand copy of some of these key first covers, and then you think about how rare it is to have an autograph of, a top end Hall of Fame great athlete, each of those things in themselves are tough to find in most cases and rare in most cases. If you combine that, if you have a key newsstand first cover of a Hall of Fame athlete that has also been autographed, and that's combined, to me, that's like exponentially increasing the potential scarcity and collectability. So I have intentionally been grabbing a bunch of these that I could find, many of them that I could find for bargain prices, and I've been hoarding them, waiting for this day. This day came sooner than I expected. I knew it was going to happen sometime, but I honestly thought it was still going to be a couple more years before it happened. Um, so I'm excited. I got a pretty nice stack of autographed magazine covers that I'm gonna be sending in once this service rolls out. And I actually want to share, I'm gonna share my screen one more time, and I'm gonna show you a couple examples of exactly what I'm talking about, of how these autographs on these key covers can really add a lot of extra value, more than you would think. So let's see here. Let's go. We're going to share this screen right here. Okay. So check this out. What I've done is I've got 4 examples here, and all of these are, I've got 2 magazines of the same magazine that are graded at the same level. One's autographed and one isn't, and I'm showing you the difference in pricing. So this first one is Bobby Orr's first cover. These are both newsstand copies, and they're both graded at 6.0. You can see the one on the right is not autographed, and it sold on eBay for $775. And by the way, these are all like, fairly recent sales. I didn't pull, one sale from this year and then the other sales from 5 years ago. All these sales like all happened within the past year or so. So $775 for the 6.0 newsstand that wasn't signed. But then the signed one at the same grade sold for 1,125. So that one's not as huge of a jump, but it makes you wonder, what does a Bobby Orr autograph go for on its own, by itself? Let's just say it's on a postcard, or on a card, or on a photo. Does that go for, I mean, what's the difference here? 879, I mean, $350, something. I think this is a $350 bump. Does a signed Bobby Orr photograph go for $350? It might. I'm not sure. But let's look at some more examples, because like I said, this is kind of the smallest example. Here's a Pele. This is the Pele first cover from 1975. These are both subscription copies with labels removed. They've both been graded at a 5.5. The one on the right sold for $124.50. The one on the left with an autograph sold for $925. That's a difference of $800. That is a big bump. I know for a fact that a standalone Pele autograph is not going for $800. You can get one for significantly less than that. That kind of sale catches my eye. That once again, wow, this is a big value jump when you've got these autographs. Okay, check this one out. It's the very first issue from 1954. Eddie Matthews. We see this one all the time. These are both 6.0s. The one on the right, not autographed, sold for $225. The one on the left, autographed, sold for $1,321.24. That's a value increase of over $1,000. Is an Eddie Matthews autograph standalone, once again, on a photograph or on a postcard or whatever, is it worth over $1,000? No, not typically. But when you combine these two factors of this, the scarcity, a newsstand and an autograph together, look at the value that this is adding for collectors. And here's my last example. This one's pretty drastic. LeBron James first cover, 2002, the one on the right, unsigned, 8.0, sold for $270. The one on the left, also an 8.0, autographed, sold for $5,520. That is a value added of over $5,000. Now, there is one thing to consider here, that because this is a green label by CGC, it probably is technically in higher shape than an 8.0. The realistic grade that they bumped it down because the writing is probably a 9, maybe a 9.2, but a 9.0 or a 9.2 of LeBron James' first cover that's ungraded is still selling for well under $1,000. So regardless, even if you wanted to pretend this was a 9.0, this value added by the autograph being on his first cover in this instance is still about $5,000 of value added. That is significant. And once again, I think it is because you add in the scarcity of getting an autograph to the scarcity of having a newsstand copy of a key first cover. All that together just creates ultra collectability, big time scarcity. And that's why I have been picking up as many autographed newsstand first covers as I can find, because I think that that's got a lot of potential, and I think that they are super, super cool. I think they're each extremely cool on their own as standalones, but whenever you combine those factors together, I think that's pretty awesome. And that's one of the reasons I am absolutely stoked that CGC has come through in the clutch and is offering this service with JSA. I'm going to give you guys a round of applause, CGC. You're making my dreams come true with this one. So that's it. Thank you guys for watching. Let me know in the comments what you think about all this. And if you have not yet done so, please subscribe. And till the next video, I'll see you next time.